All right, I was having a conversation with a bunch of business people. I'm a member of a group of a whole bunch of startup CEOs, and about half of them were ranting about the people that they were hiring. They were blaming it on the generation of millennials, and millennials who are also CEOs were taking issue with this. And what's really interesting is all of these folks are complaining about the education system and how the education system is not preparing our students for work, and that they have to clean up the mess. But then I ask them, how many of you are actually helping the education system? How many of you are actually involved in telling them what you need in students and supporting them and influencing them? And the reality is that pretty much almost no businesses are doing this. There's some great organizations like we have in Colorado, like Colorado Succeeds, that is fantastic at connecting businesses and educators together and expressing their needs. But what the problem is that business people don't really even know what makes their own people successful. When they're hiring, they're kind of like using a magic 8-ball and go, well, I don't know, is this person going to be good? Can they hit the ground running? And they're guessing most of the time. But the greatest way to be able to influence education is to measure your own people, is to be able to identify and build a target based on what makes your people successful. And then if you're getting interns, like we've got great interns from University of Denver, from the Art Institute, we've used interns from Ivy League schools, from all over the place, to be able to inform those organizations what you need and what you like about these students and how to develop them. Eventually, that link between the two is going to be made. That if employers can get engaged, if employers can express specifically what they need in students, we'll stop assuming that these things are just caught. I talked to a head of a career and technical education program, and I said, what curriculum do you have that specifically develops these skills? And he goes, oh, we have tons of curriculum that does this. And then I asked the head at the same meeting, who was sitting next to him, the head of curriculum for the school district, and I said, what would you say? And he goes, we have absolutely zero curriculum that develops these skills. Frankly, it was a rather uncomfortable moment. It was very silent as they stared at each other with his totally different points of view. But the difference is that the CTE guy wasn't necessarily wrong. He has curriculum that forces students to express these types of skills. But his assumption is they get caught in the exercise. But if that was true, if these skills can just be caught, then no business would ever have to teach collaboration and teamwork, because kids are put in groups from the time they're 4 years old to work. And they're not learning how to collaborate in teams. So yeah, you can catch some of this stuff in sports, you can catch it in internships, but until we explicitly teach this to our students, businesses are always going to complain. And until businesses actually measure their own people and get engaged in the education system, they don't really have a right to complain. So get off your butts, build a relationship with your local schools. I'm talking to all the CEOs out there, and make a difference in your own pipeline, your own talent pipeline, by changing the way students are educated.